with me to our Lord's Gospel as recorded in Acts chapter 2. Acts chapter 2. We're reading in that 46th verse. Acts chapter 2, verse 46. And they continued daily with one accord in the temple, and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily, and the Lord added to the church daily, such as should be saved. Look at Philippians chapter 3. Philippians chapter 3. It's over there behind Ephesians. Ephesians is right next door to Galatians. Galatians in the New Testament. In Philippians chapter 3. Look at verse 14. If you have it, say amen. Amen. Notwithstanding, that's the wrong verse. That's the wrong verse. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. For a few minutes, I want to talk about God's glorifying growth. God's glorifying growth. God's glorifying growth. I contend real growth is generated by God. I'm talking about church growth. The best church growth is that which is generated by God, and that kind of growth will always glorify Him. Amen? Amen. Sitting in my study Wednesday, I got a call. Men I did not know, had not heard from before, called me and said, "Are you having Bible study tonight?" And I said, yes. He said he called one church previously, and they said they were closed for the month of July. But if we were having Bible study, he would come. All right. He came, he and his wife. It turned out he was a pastor from the Atlanta area. He came and he participated in our prayer session, and he participated in our Bible study. Man. He shared a testimony that he said he pastored for 24 years. He said 21 of them he pastored the church, and he was not a pleasant experience. He had to resign the church, and he is in a much better situation where he is pastoring now. I do not contend that it was an accident that he came Wednesday. I truly think God sent him. I'm just crazy enough to believe that God is still in control. Amen. And we were dealing with this particular lesson. John Adolph has this book, and we were talking about this verse 14. I press toward the mark, prize of my high calling in Christ Jesus. And I started off the session asking the question, have you ever got to a point in your spiritual life where you burn out? All right. Have you ever got to a point in your spiritual life where you just got totally frustrated with the church, with God, and some of God's people? You just wanted to quit. I know it get quiet right around. And the fact of the matter is that if you've really been on the warfare long enough, you know that it's not always easy. It can get tough sometimes. It can be difficult. But the question is, are you going to throw in the towel, or are you going to give up, or are you going to continue? Amen. Real growth is always generated by God. And growth that is generated by God will always glorify Him. I have a witness here. In fact, the matter is, I found out that if you are motivated by people, you're not very dedicated, because people are fickle. Folk will be with you today, they'll be against you tonight. If you're motivated by folks patting you on the back and saying you did a good job, you will get motivation sometime, but it's not consistent. I found in order to be able to press like Paul is talking about, you've got to focus on God. Because God is the same today that He was on yesterday, and He'll be the same forevermore. Do I have a witness here? I contend that the best growth is generated by God. And generated growth is growth that glorifies Him. Do I have a witness here? What kind of church do you want? The fact of the matter is, you can go to some churches and they're like funerals. Some churches are quite sad, to be honest with you. And then there are some churches that are quite exciting, revitalized, motivating, stimulating. Some churches can really turn you on. You might as well confess that sometimes you go to church, you don't feel like going to church, but when you're in the right situation, it can turn you on. I mean, the right kind of environment can make you feel better than you felt. I contend if you go to the right kind of church, that you ought to feel better when you leave than you did when you came. What kind of church do you want? The kind of church you want is the kind you have to work for, and the kind you work for makes a difference. I contend that real growth, the best growth, is generated by God. And growth generated by God will always glorify Him. Do I have a witness here? Paul says, I press. That word press comes from the Greek word dioko. Dioko, that's D-E-O-K-O. It's a word that talks about your ability to picture one who is running and not sparing anything. He's not trying to save himself. He's not trying to hold back. He's running and he's holding nothing back. He's giving his all. Paul, when he visualized it, he used the language of a marathon runner. A runner, because see, you got a runner who can run the 100-yard dash, and you got a runner who can run the 100-meter dash. But when you're running a marathon, it's a whole lot different. When I was young, I used to work out running 5 miles a day. But when you're running 5 miles a day, that's a whole lot different from running 26 miles. Wish I had a witness here. That you might be strong, you might be able to do a lot of things, but in order to run and continue, you got to have something more inside you. You got to have a stimulus that enables you to keep on going. You can't just stop. Oh, there's a lot of quitters. But Paul says, in order to be who God wants you to be, you've got to focus on finishing. I press. Here's this Greek word talking about running without holding back. And my question is not whether you're pressing. I contend every person in church presses. My question is, what are you pressing for? You pressing, but who are you pressing for? You pressing, but what race are you running? What are you really pressing? He says, I'm pressing toward the mark. I'm pressing toward the mark. I'm pressing toward a prize. I'm pressing toward a crown. I'm pressing toward reaching the finish line. But now that term pressing means that you're going to put forth some effort. That means that you're not going to just try to go through the motion. That means you got to get what they talk about, your second wind. The second wind is not, to me, it's not that enable you to persevere. Your second wind is that those who run know that when you start running, there's a tendency to kind of get winded or tired. But after you kick into a certain gear, what they call your second wind, you're at that level where you can run and you don't feel the pain as much as you did before. You can run and it's like at a constant. You're not comfortable, but you're not hurting. I mean, you're not in your easy chair, but at the same time, you're comfortable enough to keep on running as long as you have to run. Your body can take it. I found out the first time I ran a mile was one thing, but you know, Brother Jackson, when I decided I was going to run 2 miles instead of 1 mile, the shock that came over me was that when I ran lap number 5, it really wasn't that much different from lap number 4. The biggest part was just mentally accepting the fact that I'm going to run. Of course, I always try to kick it off on the end, so you hold off on that kick. You don't be trying to kick too early before you get to the end. You keep on running your race until you get to that final part. And Paul says, I press, I'm working, I'm striving, I'm doing what I can. And the problem is we got too many folk in church who want to work for God, but they don't want to press for God. They want to participate as long as it doesn't cost anything. You don't mind working for God as long as you don't have to sweat. You want to be able to comfortably support the master, but Paul says, no, I got to press. I got to press. Y'all look at me like I'm making this stuff. Look at verse 46. They continue daily. They continue daily in one accord. Yeah, they continue daily in one accord. And in the temple, breaking bread from house to house. They ate with gladness, and they had singleness of heart. They were praising God, and they had favor with the folk. And God added, what are you pressing? We talk about the 5 persons of church, a function of church. It says that, church ought to be a worshiping church. Church ought to be a fellowshipping church. The church ought to be a church where there is ministry. The church ought to be a church that has discipleship. The church ought to be a church that is witnessing. Yeah, any church that's worth functioning, you ought to be functioning in those areas. And God grew the church. And God added to the church. Question: why would God send somebody to a church that's not feeding? Why would God send somebody to a church that's not feeding? I talk about purposes, function of the church. Say, well, evangelism is the most important part of the church. Evangelism is a function of the church, is not necessarily the most important part. Evangelism gets them in. I said, but getting them in is like having a baby. But once you get the baby, that's not enough. You then got to feed the baby. You got to provide the proper environment for that baby to grow. My boy just had a little girl, and he kind of grew. He's growing up himself. You see, it's different than just making a baby and taking care of a baby. You can celebrate having a baby, but it's different when you got to wake up in the middle of the night. I went by to see him one day, and he had bags all over the time. I said, that girl kept me up all night long. I said, no, I just started laughing. I said, oh, God sure is good. You reap what you sow. But the good news is that you go through this process, and this process, as long as you provide the environment that is conducive for growth, growth is enhanced. Growth happens. And the fact of the matter is, every church who calls themselves a church is responsible for providing the kind of environment that is conducive for spiritual growth and development. Do I have a witness here? It all says that there's blessing in the pressing. There's blessing in the pressing. Because the fact of the matter is, you can't really press without going through some pain. When you say you're going to run, you got to go through some pain. And then if you think you're going to be a Christian and not experience some pain, you're in the wrong place. Being a child of God means you'll get your feelings hurt sometimes. Being a child of God means that you will be misunderstood. Being a child of God means that you will be falsely accused. There will be some I press. What kind of church you want? What kind of church you're pressing for? And for my next point, I won't take it on the last two, is that if you're pressing for the right kind of environment, it has to happen.
Yeah.
If you want an exciting church, you'll have an exciting church.
Yeah.
But now you can't come to church and go to sleep and expect church to be exciting. Some of y'all got to, y'all take care of that part. You know, y'all got to do that part. That ain't part of my personality. I was talking to one of my good friends, and she had gone to a funeral, and she said that he got to hooping and hollering like you do. And you know, I can't stand all that hooping and hollering. And I said, well now, I don't really hoop and holler most of the time at a funeral. Now I will holler, I don't hoop. But let me just say quite quickly, I don't apologize for hooping and hollering at church. Amen. I just don't understand. I say, see y'all, you sedated, educated folk, you know, you so sophisticated, you can't hoop and holler at church. Let me say something, but I've seen that same person, I've seen her watch a football game. Yeah. Oh, man. Hooping and hollering like she lost her life. Y'all better hear me today. You know, so it don't take all that to have church. And it don't take all that to watch football game either. It don't take all that to go to a baseball game. It don't take all that to go. Now you gotta wait, see, I be listening too. But see, when you listen, there are some things when you listen to it ought to stir you up emotionally. Oh, y'all better know what I'm talking about. There are some things when you hear it, it'll do something to your inside. You can train a dog. We would come up, they would train that dog so when somebody said sick of it. Come on here, somebody. And you see, when the Holy Ghost is really a part of you, there are certain things just say sick of it. Every time I hear somebody say amazing grace, that's like saying sick of to me. Every time I say God is good, it's like saying sick of to me. When somebody says I thank him for the mountains, I thank him for the valleys, that's like saying sick of to me. When I think about what God has done for me, that's like saying sick of. And you can sit there like a lump on the log if you want to, but when I think about what God has done for me, I got to move, I got to shout, I got to let somebody know he's worthy. I press. But I don't do, I see the pressing, I also see the preaching. Yeah. The preaching. The kind of church you grow is strongly dependent upon the kind of preaching that happens at the church. Yeah, see, I kind of pause right there. Because as soon as I say, oh, now you're going to talk about his preaching. No, that's the problem. Yeah. See, preaching is not just for clergy. Amen. Yeah. Preaching, the Greek deals with this word proclamation. Yeah. It's proclaiming the good news. Yeah. Proclaiming the gospel. Yeah. I wish I had a witness here. Yeah. The preaching of the gospel is not just for these fellas up here. Yeah. The proclaiming of the gospel is for every person who calls themselves a child of God. Right. When Jesus gave the Great Commission and said, go ye to all the world and preach the gospel, he was not just talking to the apostles. In fact, Paul said there were over 500 folk listening. And you make a big mistake when you think the preacher is the only one that should preach. Every last one of you should be preaching. You should be preaching the gospel. Yeah. What is the gospel? That's complicated. No, it's not that complicated. The gospel, you're a sinner. Yeah. The gospel, God loves sinners. Yeah. The gospel, Jesus died for sinners. The gospel, if you accept Christ in the pardon of your sin, you can be saved. That's some good news to me. I wish I had a witness here. That's the gospel. Every saint ought to be spreading that gospel. Yeah. He did not say spread your dress is too tight. The gospel is not that you're supposed to have on a black suit on first Sunday. The gospel is not that you can't sing if you don't have a robe on. Or you can't usher if you don't have a uniform. That's not gospel. That might be your rule. I ain't got no problem with that. But I'm just trying to people would prefer to spread gossip instead of the gospel. Why would I want to go to church? And all they're going to talk about is mess. If I've been working all week, catching hell on my job, chaos in my house, why do I want to go to church and get some more help?